great thing in my life that I could spend 30 minutes with Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam on one-on-one basis at one of my friend's place. So that was my greatest time in my life. The Abdul Kalam's thing, that when the rocket fell, he has to go to the press and tell it is because of me it has failed. And in the rocket success, he said that it is my people who did it. Everything, basic thing, and that is another most important thing I will talk about, that unless you know the basics, the fundamental basics of a job, you cannot reach where you want. We are more interested in cleaning the dirt, but we are not knowing how the dirt comes and how to avoid that dirt.
Welcome to Pharma now. Today with us we have Mr. Shyam Khante. He is the director of Amirant Life Sciences and the president of Red Lotus Farm Tech. So sir, welcome to Pharma now.
Thank you.
Starting off from your academic journey, you are a gold medalist during your time. How do you think academics translates into the industry? What is the correlation between academics and the industry?
To say upfront something, I would sincerely be giving a lot of weightage to academic excellence.
Okay.
It's not only the marks you achieve or the kind of distinctions you get, but what is more important is the discipline you learn. And all the value, ethics and ethical values, if you learn in academics, I think it's a great sort of inventory of skills you can carry to achieve your industrial career. And according to me, good practices learned in academic is extremely important to achieve what you would like to do in the industry.
Right. And sir, while having a discussion earlier, I got to know that you are from a very humble background. From being excited about the first class train ticket to having your own company aircraft. The whole journey is very inspiring. Can you tell us more about it? How did you start your career in the industry, and how did you rise to the heights that you have risen today?
See, I'll tell you very frankly, to rise in industry or to work in the industry, you need to have a dream. And unless you have a dream, forget about it, whether you achieve or not, that let somebody decide.
Yeah.
Okay? But unless you have a dream, you cannot work. And I can tell you very frankly, as a student, we visited Glaxo in 23rd May 1973 to be more precise. And as a student, we had never seen in our life any pharmaceutical company. Glaxo, we were absolutely flabbergasted to see the kind of cleanliness and so many people and all these things. And I went home and said, God, if you are there, I think I would like to become a technical director of this kind of big company. That was my aim in life, believe me. And come 1995, I became the technical director of that company, in which I said, okay, God was listening, I would ask for something more. But that was the aim was there, and we started working for it. So I must tell you, whosoever is wanting to be making a career, you must have an aim, well-decided, well-defined aim, and you need to work and find out and go on refining your skills as required for the at that particular stage. But let us not think that any shortcut or any manipulation or any kind of malpractices can take you. It can take you there.
Yeah.
You can stay for some time, but not all the time.
Right. So it all starts with a dream. You convert that into a goal.
Yeah.
Right. Then sir, tell us about the first job that you had at Hex.
See, the one job which I had at Hex, which I would really thank myself and I will thank the company. It was something like a mother teaching a child. Hex was a company which taught us everything, basic thing, and that is another most important thing I will talk about. That unless you know the basics, the fundamental basics of a job, you cannot reach where you want. Today we talk about cleanliness, air particulate matter, smoke, all kinds of things. But we don't know how to clean a simple thing like your floor, how dirty you are around. We are more interested in cleaning the dirt, but we are not knowing how the dirt comes and how to avoid that dirt. That we learned from my first job. And Hex was a very good training school. They're a fantastic engineering company. We always used sometimes worry whether in a pharmaceutical company or an engineering company. Full freedom to work, and I owe all my success to my industrial career to the place where I work, Hex.
So, sir, Hex taught you the basics are very important. Tell us more about your journey from Hex in Dombivli, right? Then you moved to Aurangabad, then you went on to Hyderabad. We would love to know more about in each company, what were the things that you learned, how did you rise up across the hierarchies, and how should one navigate through this whole scenario? A young professional entering his career, how should he look at all that?
See, one thing you must understand that when you work for the industrial career, there are no excuses of anything. I can tell you my experience in Hex. If you can believe me, only if today's generation can believe, the work is to start at 5:15 a.m. Okay, that's in the morning. Just imagine if you have to reach a workplace in Mulund, from Bombay, from place where you used to be put up in Dombivli. Imagine what kind of preparation you have to get up at 3 o'clock. If I tell today's generation, probably they will faint. So one has to do that kind of very tough life, getting up there. Sometimes power is not there. You have to take bath by cold water. Just imagine. There's all kinds of things, but you cannot give excuses. You have to travel, go to train, catch a train, come to Mulund station, take a taxi, come to and start the line. Because if you don't start by this year, by 6:30 when the other operators come, they will keep idle and that will be reported that the line did not start in time because it did not start in time. And believe me, it was a hell of a thing. Probably will be thrown out of the job. You may be saying by virtue of fear or otherwise, but that taught us that first important thing is reaching in time with determination. Let it not happen by fluke. It has to happen by design and it has to happen by conviction. In my life, I never reach anywhere. I reach late, and that is what Higgs taught me. Second thing is the most important thing is place of work. You must understand wherever you work, you are not a person that somebody will come to you. You have to go to the places and find out. Means I learned Higgs had a very good work culture. Even the workmen there had a very good work culture. That's what another thing which you have learned. Third thing is that the freedom of work which was there. You practice so many new things. We did that, and that's why in my industrial life I could do so many new things, and that was thanks to my first job with Higgs Pharmaceutical.
So, sir, instead of focusing on all the fancy things, you are telling us to focus on the basics. To get those right.
Yes.
Reach there on time.
Simple thing like that. Be there on time. You should be properly ground. Look, you can't even, if you're going to a pharmaceutical company for work, you are not going for a film institute or a screen test. You are going for a pharmaceutical company. You must take bath, go clean. There is no use to checking the contamination afterwards. If a dirty fellow goes there and does, that's what we do. We just go on putting filters after filters after filters. We never check the first hygiene. And Hex would throw you out from the gate if you are not properly, that is what is the simple thing. So we are not, you check the disease in the first place, there is no need for treatment.
So getting the basics right covers your base. The strong foundation can make you go places. Then, sir, tell us about the story of the managing director's room and how it all went. How you got back into the same room. It was a very interesting story.
When I went to Burroughs Welcome, I was working there as a technical manager. I always used to see a room always closed for there. And I was told it was the MD's room, meant for only somebody who comes there will sit. So always what's there in that room, and all the secretary will say, no, you can't go there because only MD and that level person come. I said, very fine, let me work for that in why I decided. And subsequently I changed the job, did some different jobs, and when I worked for a company which merged with Glaxo and I became the technical director of GlaxoSmithKline, the Burroughs was a part of my job, it was part of my responsibility, roles and responsibility. And then I went to that plant, that room was open for me. Then I realized this is okay. That was the day I was dreaming to sit there, and now the room is open, let me go and sit. How does it look like? Again, determination thing. Okay, don't think politics is a sort of a sheer coincidence or no, it's not. It's determination and hard work which has taken you over there. It's a tough, but yes, it's possible.
Like you said earlier, it all started with a dream.
See, unless you have a dream, nothing will happen. If you start the life that, okay, something we have to do, somehow we have got to do, then probably we'll keep doing something and somehow. But we will never do anything which is really required, and if you can reassure that. Well, okay, fine. fulfilling is a different thing. You may or you may not, it doesn't matter. But if you don't have and you don't work, I mean, I tell you an example. I had a team of my direct reporters. Several of IIT IIMs were reporting to me.
Yeah.
I was neither IIT nor IIM. I did that. But then they always used to ask me. My boss was sitting in Singapore. He himself was an IIT IIM. Okay, so then Shyam, how is this happening? Then I said, you tell me. Because now you have put me over there. They said, well, fine. You have told me one common thing which from them, which is most uncommonly found in them, that you have common sense. And what you require is nothing but common sense. If you have a common sense, a judgment, 5 things important I will thank you for all the kind of things. The most important thing, you have a sense of judgment. Unless you know how to judge, like the cricketer, he makes a change. There are 5 for fast bowler, but he knows which to do when. There are 3 spin. He knows how fielding arrangement is. So he knows the caliber of a batsman and his big point that where he will put that. He puts a fielder over there.
Right.
That's a judgment. Second important thing is that the most important thing is sense of urgency. In the organization, your priorities keep changing. They change in a year, they change in a month, they change in a week, they change in a day, they change in an hour. It's so much. So you can't be just rigid sitting over there that because I decided to do this, I will do. Let the world go to hell. No, it's not going to happen. So after judgment, the next important thing is the sense of urgency. Third important thing which I always want is you must have the energy level. Believe me, in my entire industrial career, except for my one major accident in Aurangabad where I was hospitalized, a very major, it was a near fatal accident. And once I was taken ill when I was working in my initial stages, I had suffered from typhoid. I never took even a half a day holiday or this thing that you are going to believe it. Not even a single 1 hour early also I went for my health reasons. And that is kind of virtually you have got to have a sense of urgency in this point. I never reached late. I never gave any excuses. I never attended. That's what I am a very, in my family term, as the antisocial person. Except it is coming in the weekends and all. I never attended any family weddings and all. Bad thing, you should. But that mistake I did. But I concentrated on my work. So that is a sense of urgency. So that's what the first thing is the judgment. Second was the sense of urgency. Third was your energy level. The fourth most important thing I practice in my company was care for people. You need to understand that your people work for you. You don't do anything. So many times my wife will always ask me, what work you do? I said, I don't do any work. They said, why are you getting paid so much? And I said, I get paid not for doing work. I get paid for getting the work done from kind of thing. And basically you've got to be working for people. You should have care for people. And most important thing, at the last but not the least, is sense of humor. You cannot be working with all your long face and all this kind of thing. So I'm a tremendously witty person. I cannot stay without cracking and everything I put it. I'm a professor now in pharmacy college. So I make every knowledge converted into humor and this thing. And that goes, it sets into that. A quality system is a very boring subject to deal, but I made it in such a palatable form. So I always tell, if a bitter drug is there, however you like to, nobody will do. But then when you convert it into the drug into a sweeter form, we coat it, we give into the form where it is accepted by people, and that's how you have got to do. So you have got to make the job interesting. Unless there is element of fun, you will not be able to succeed. So that's another important thing. If you want to reach something, and if you say that you have reached somewhere, sense of humor is something which I would put very great thing behind that.
So like the drug delivery system, to deliver knowledge, you have to have sense of humor. Right? Then sir, your job in Hyderabad, you had a great mentor called Dr. Gupta. Tell us more about mentorship and how should one approach mentorship and how should they choose their mentor?
See, one of the most important thing in life is that we always say Guru Sakshat Parbrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. It's like the Guru makes a lot of difference in your life. In my industrial life, there have been Guru right from my first boss, Mithani, our immediate boss was Mr. Pradhan, our technical director, Dr. Rusha, our HR director, George Menezes. He was my personal mentor also when I was in as a director in X. And then Dr. Gupta, Mr. Devendra Pal, and final my boss was Mr. Ranti Dev. These are all my gurus. And believe me, they did fantastic mentoring. They were, while teaching, they were virtually like a carrot and a stick. They never showed any mercy. when it was coming to result. But they went all the way. Then they found that I was lacking in a particular skill. They really made them available. They made the advice available. They really encourage at the time it was required. That's the most important thing, that you need an encouragement at the right time. So once you succeed, if the match is won later on, so many people there to do it. But when you are playing that time, if somebody advises right, that is more important than you are encouraging at the end. So all my gurus, all my mentors, I really am, my life and my success, I am owing to them, because they really help a lot and then in making me successful. Absolutely. And every time they will tell where you are going wrong, where you should correct. And right encouragement, right freedom of work. I can do, I was able to do a lot of first in the industry, and that is all because thanks to my mentors, which I really did. Absolutely nothing. He said, do whatever. Agar fail ho gaya, I will see. Dr. Abdul Kalam's thing, that when the rocket fell, he has to go to the press and tell it is because of me it has failed. And in the rocket success, he said that it is my people who did it. That's a incidentally, I had a very nice, great thing in my life, that I could spend 30 minutes with Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam on one-on-one basis at one of my friends' place. So that was my greatest, I would say, time in my life, and I could spend 30 minutes with Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. Really, he really talked to me like his friend. And I had so much tension when I was about to see him. 2 nights I didn't sleep when I knew. But when I spoke to him, as if I felt that I am speaking to my professor or something like that. Virtually, he so many times he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, tell me what this is, tell me this. I said, what a man, what a great man he is. And really, I tell you, if God were to ask me, do you have any other wish? I said, meeting Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, I don't know whether somebody believes in God or not, but I said, I have met God. Dr. Abdul Kalam is a God, and I met him. 20 minutes I met Dr. Abdul Kalam. I met Mr. Deepak Parekh, who was the chairman of, when I was in Higgs, we were in the Higgs management committee. Deepak Parekh was our chairman. And was this kind of thing. Only in my life I couldn't meet JRD, which I had a lot of dream to meet, but unfortunately, but these two greats I have really met, seen, talked. I really feel great about it. You become big when you speak to such people. I believe in the kind of feeling they give. You don't feel when you talk to them, you don't feel that you're talking to a great man. You feel you have become big. So that's a greatness. And that's what you must impart. That's what when you talk softly, you speak with humor, you speak with care for people, that you impart. And that people learn from you. Don't become a sort of a tough ringmaster kind of thing. But nobody's interested in that.
So all the mentors should keep in mind that encouragement is required during the process and not just at the end.
Encouragement is very important, because if we are not encouraged, and also proper mentoring, something is going wrong, let us not, when a kid is walking, we watch him. He falls, sometimes we let him fall. But if he's putting his hand in something, electrical or glass or something, then we save him. That's what the job of a mentor, in which, as per me, my mentor, really they must be gods in my previous, they must be in their previous birth or this thing. I don't know why, none of them were related to me, none of them from my college, none of them from my community, none of them from my state, nothing. Only thing common between them, we are from the same profession. That's why I never practice in my life any nepotism, never any kind of partiality or anything. I was purely, to the best of my knowledge, of course I can say, unknowingly I must have done if anything, but knowingly I always gave a lot of importance to merit than any other.
So sir, mentorship and leadership go hand in hand. Leadership is kind of reverse of being mentored by. So what is your take on leadership? How should a person lead teams?
Leadership is mainly about demonstrating and encouraging. I always tell that there are 4 types of leaders. One is they will come and tell you something, teach. I'm not that. Second type of leader is that one who will explain you. I'm not that. Third thing is that one who will practically demonstrate you how to do. I'm also not that. Then what are you? I'm a person, I'm a leader who will inspire you to do things. I will just want you, I will just watch you from this, but I will inspire. I will ask questions I will never give. Even my students also, I never give answer. I will tell them the 10 books where the answer lies.
Okay.
But finally, they have to find it. And the next day, they come prepared, sir, we got from answer from this book and this book. And then I ask them, which books you refer? I give them the books also.
Yeah.
I send them by mail.
Yeah.
I said, I have given almost by they say, so far now I must have given more than 500 odd books to them.
Yeah.
But I will never tell the answer. Even that book also, I will not tell a particular page or something. I said, roughly on this chapter, you read it, find out.
Yeah.
So that is what is encouraging. So leadership, as per my definition, is nothing but encouragement. If you encourage your people, they will give wonderful results. Don't try to spoon feed. Don't try to overdo. When you teach them something, you tell whatever you have learned. That may be good, bad, ugly, wrong, something like that. You always try to. I always tell my boys, don't learn computer skill from anybody senior. Go to a right class and learn. Because that will tell you. Otherwise, how to switch off the computer, you can do that.
Yeah.
What's the process you have to follow? So never short circuit a process.
No shortcuts.
No. And there is no shortcut for anything.
Yeah.
Even for shortcut, there are no shortcuts. Let me tell you very frank. If somebody feels that there is a shortcut, well, he or she must be lucky enough, not I.
Yeah. But sir, what you do with your students, you don't give them the answers.
No.
But you're giving us the answers, so thank you so much. Then sir, you were the neighbor of the CM. How was that for you? How did that feel? Coming from a humble background.
See, one thing I would always say that you should not, don't try to glorify your previous kind of thing. If you have, I see many people, they always talk about, I came out very humble. Okay, that was history. If it is done, talk about today.
Present.
Humble background is an inventory of your good thing what I've said. Well, I came from a humble background. I never picked up bad habits. I never picked up all these kind of things. I always knew how my mother has to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to cook food for others. So that was thing was there. But when time came, I never hold that kind of thing. I have a battery of servants in my house. So I never say that because my mother used to get up and I don't know. I mean, now I can afford, I will have it.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's not okay. So that's why I always say that you should not glorify your past.
Yeah.
Okay? Your humble background is something you can find. You are humble, that's a great.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean don't try to preach that humbleness and try to make a big issue out of it. No. You must learn or accommodate yourself or try to you have to adjust yourself according to the situation and act best of it. Air should not go in your head. Okay, you know that whenever you are, wherever you are, but at the same time, you must align yourself. You must align your skills and all as per the situation.
Right. So not giving too much importance to the past,
No.
but rather focusing on the present. Yes. Then sir, the two things that you value a lot are common sense and presence of mind. In a person's lifespan, in his professional journey, you believe that these two things are of utmost importance. Please tell us more about that perspective.
See, important why I always say that the dream, you should have clarity. Okay, clarity in what you want to really achieve.
Yes.
NASA had a dream. You mean that they had a dream to send a man on the moon? No. Their dream was to send a man on the moon and get him back safely. That's NASA's dream. Okay, if they had to send a man, they would have sent it. There are hundreds of people who are ready to die, but their dream and their question was to send him there and get him back safely. That is it. That's the reason I'm saying there. How do you like to reach there? You would like to reach there by unethical means, you would like to reach by illogical means, you would like to reach by something, or you would like to go by a different way. That's the clarity you need. There are people in the industry, I know that hundreds of people are there. They are there, people will, but then when they come out, there hardly any respect for them. They earn a lot of money illegally, unethically, all kinds of malpractices and all those things. I always tell my people when I walk in, see exhibitions like this, there are 10 people coming, they are craving to come and meet me and greet me and see me. And I can walk like this thing because I never get any favors or any gratuities from anybody. That's most important thing is that your gratitude, if you practice your this thing, that helps you a lot and helps you in the long run. So again, never think like that.
Got it, sir. And about after having such a good journey, it is important that a person should hand it over to the next generation.
I always feel that there is always a time for retirement. We have seen that unfortunately, and I again give the example from the live example. I'm always fond of giving live example. In cricket we find The fellow is on the peak and doesn't, even if he doesn't play, he is just there. No, we require it. Say, what the hell, buddy? There are another 10 people waiting.
Yeah.
And in the process, what happens? He doesn't perform, and he spoils the chances of another budding cricketer who also lose their age, because cricket 35 you are out.
Yeah.
And if a guy is 30 performing, because of this man is there, he doesn't leave. That 30, he crosses the 35 and then so there is a time for everybody. That is fine. I was performing excellent. Even at the peak of my career, I said, fine, this is the time for me now to quit. Then let us take a back seat. Let us do mentoring. Let us do the preaching. Let us do so many things. I put up a garden, garden in front of my house. I put in 11,000 trees. I put them in a barren piece of land. I bought soil. I changed the soil. I changed everything. I put water from my effluent treatment plant, put water line, fencing, etc., etc. And I clean that area every weekend. I take a jhadu in hand and do that. Okay, and my colleagues who help me with is a finance director of another pharmaceutical company and a very senior Navy official. They are all with me. They take a jhadu in theory. Well, that's a job you got to do it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. There is a job for you at every age, and you have got to do a job at a particular age. When you leave your this thing, you need to know when to stop.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. If you don't know when to stop, probably then you end up doing something. And see, today, if you still keep working, if you get 1 or 2 warning letters or not, your entire career goes to for a toss. Why do you do that?
So it's important to know when to stop, when to retire. And sir, in your long journey in the pharma industry, how have you seen the evolution of Indian pharma?
See, I say since 91 there is a paradigm shift in the total horizon of Indian pharma. Until upon 19, probably Indian pharma was not somebody who's thinking. I used to attend the CPHI exhibitions and all, and they used to throw our visiting card in the dustbin. Okay, when we say India, it's okay, fine. Since 91, the things have changed. There were so many US FDA, so many missions and all. And come 2004, when I had a anti-cancer facility to be installed, when I landed in Germany, there are 4 different manufacturers holding a placard for me. I said, no, my company has organized a car and I will go into that. I don't need your car. That was a shift which we are seeing. Many companies, there used to go always the Indian flag. So what? There is an FAT of this company, FAT of that. There are 6 lines, 5 of them are Indian. They said, yes. All this thing, he said, our product line our order book is full for another 1.5 years. All are going to India. That's the change, yes. If you happen to see CPH and all these things, why do they say this exhibition that is so rare? It's because the future is here.
Yeah.
From another $55 billion we are here, we will be shortly touching $30 billion, and then by the turn of we complete every day, it will be closing to 1 billion.
Yeah.
1 trillion.
Yeah.
Okay. And just imagine from where we have come. I can tell you the quality of some of our plants is far superior, far better than they are in US and I have seen whole world. I have seen several times. Some of our plants in India are so very okay. Some small cases, strains, sometimes they are blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
But that always in all walks of life, some bad thing always flares up, and then it gives a lot of ill impact on us. But India has a great future. Great pharmaceutical future. Only thing is that I think you will have to now jump on something, a newer technology than the conventional one, that is use of artificial intelligence, robotics, and more into wearable diagnostic, that is implantable things. Okay. That is something where I sincerely feel that maybe something is happening, but I didn't see a sort of a hugely evident thing in this exhibition also. So I think these are 3 things which India needs to, industry needs to work, machinery industry needs to work, we need to work, our technology and education needs to work.
So you believe these are the shortcomings in the industry where there is a gap to be bridged?
No, it's not a shortcoming. Probably, I'm not saying there are many industries working on that,
okay,
but that is something for tomorrow.
Okay.
We must know what's happening. We should not get caught unaware. So you need to know what's happening in tomorrow. It's not ready, but you have to start working. And unless you work, you will never see tomorrow.
You have to be very quick to adapt.
Yes.
Yes, understood. And do you believe that India has already achieved the title of pharmacy of the world? or are we yet to reach there?
No, I think we have achieved, but again, this achievement is never a sort of it's not a goal or something, it's a journey.
Yeah.
So you have to be continuously doing. When you stop doing, you will be back.
Yeah.
So if somebody says, I achieved this nirvana, I don't think we do that. You have got to be continuously, and to stay there, it's like an aircraft swimming. It has to fly at that speed. If you bring that aircraft to under 400 kilometers an hour, it will fall.
Yeah.
So you have got to stay at 800 kilometers an hour, then only you can fly. That's the state of the industry.
We have to maintain that pace.
To maintain it. With respect to quality, delivery, and adaptation of technology. All three important things.